Hey again. What I want to do in this video, I want when player 1 select this one, he will change it to the X content. Then the time to player 2 to start playing. When the player 2 select, he will change the text to O. And he will continue XOXO, and he will add the data for first player and the data for the second player in his array. So going back to the code, we know that for every button is connected with this events, and we are setting the background color here for red. So I no longer need to add this one here because I'm just getting the view, then I check with the ID, then I send all the information to play game. Let me move this line here, setting button color, and because it's not named to be select here, it's named button, so I will change it here to button. If you want to be more professional, so I think it's better to be this one, better to be select, and make sure I'm no longer needing this line now. That was just for debugging from last video. So now wait, I want when the first player selecting something, he will add it to the first player array, and when the second player select something, he will add it to the second player array. So now I need to define here three things. First of all, I need to define something boolean to know who is the active player. So boolean, I will name it active player. Let me suppose by default true, or you could that mean the first one. If you see, this way is not a good way to identify active player using boolean. Use integer. The first player you define it by 1 and the second player by 2. That's mean 1 for first, 2 for second. So just for hint. Okay, so you know who is the active player. So now you say, hey, if the active player equal 1, that's mean this is the first one is the active, so I need to do some process. First of all, you need to take that button and you change the set text for it to the O, okay, or to the X. That we suppose the first player he taking X format. Then what you need to do, you need to change the active player to number 2, so the second player could start playing the game. So really easy. When the first player was active, you change the text to X. So when he selected, you change the text of the button to the X instead adding red here. But it is better also adding specific color for every player. So let me suppose this one should be a green. So you need set the value for it for X and change the background to green and change the active player to 2. But now I missed something. I need to add this selected button to the player 1. So I need here to define array list to have the information for the player 1. So I defined array list of integer, and you know that because here I need array list, so a collection need to be integer. So let me name it player 1, or you could say, hey, player 1 should be equal a new instance of array list because I don't have any information about the player 1. So this will hold in this way. Let me suppose it hold player 1 data. Okay, make sure double quotation. You do same thing for player 2. Let me just format my code. This should be player 2, should be hold player 2 data. So make sure before you change it to active player 2, you need to add this data to the player 1 array list. What you need to add, you need to add the selected cell. Whatever cell is selected, you add it to player 1 list. Did you get it? So now when player 1 was active, you set the value to X, set background to green, add the data to his list, then change the active player to 2. Same thing, you need to check here. You say else. You cannot say if because if you say again if 2, he already set it to, so it will not work. You cannot say if. You have to say else if because he already set it here. So else if the 2 is active, so you need to change the active player. Set text is O. You need to give it any background. That one was green. Let's suppose this one blue. I like blue, so blue. You said the second player. Hopefully this will work. Dotted blue. Yes, blue should be capital. And also you add it to the player 2 list, and you change the active player to 1, and they continue. So this is a really simple change. We didn't change a lot. We say, hey, if it was 1, make that x and move it to 2. If it is 2, make it xo, move it to 1. So see, he chose green x. So now the time to 2 to play. So when you click, see blue o, x o, x o, x o, whatever. See? So now one thing missing. I just don't want this my layout appear too much top. I want to add some space, some padding up. So I will go here. Let me just see this table row. If you look through this table row, I need to do Android. You could say margin top from top, because I need to add space from top. I need to add, for example, 10 dB. If you see this margin top, I don't know which row we are in. Oh, I'm adding it to the last row. Sorry, this is, I know I need to make sure I'm selecting the active row, which is this first row. So I add the margin here on the top 10 and make it from this side. You could do a lot, like if you see here, now the layouts have little bit spacing up, not like first one. So we have space from the top. It's not too much. And now if you run it, you have to see the buttons is not too much like in the top. It's just having some space. So when I do margin, that means how much space. See, I add space here, 10 pixel. I added here. But you see, this is not equal to this one. It's better to make this data in the center. So we use gravity. Where's the row? This is the table. This is the table data, relative table. If I just go to say Android, weight, I don't know, it's not working in the table, it's working for the row. So Android, I say gravity, the gravity center. I just adding the data to the center of the button, not let gravity, should be gravity only to the center. That means when I say this row, make the gravity to the center, that means the content of this row added to the center. You will see, and you see it here, how he added to the center, but you'll see it also here. Because I said, hey, for first row, make the content to the center. See? It is better to do it for the all the rows. I don't know if it's working here or not on the table. It will be better for us. Yes, table, he will add the gain complete. See, when I went to the root and I say gravity center, you will see it here. If you see in the previous one, he was adding to the top. But if I move it to the table, he will add all the content table of the center. See, but they are still here. That means he left from here top, and he add the content in the center. I need to move this one in the centers also. So I need to do, for every row, I need to add gravity. So first row, second row, and third row. What I did here? Did I did correctly here? Table row. Oh, I didn't add it inside the. Sorry, it was something wrong. Going back. First, move this one to the center, and move this one to the center. Now what I did, everything now should look fine, because what I did is this. I said, while he's looting, let me show you what I did. I said I have table view, so move everything to the center. So he moved everything to the center. Now every row I said move it to the center. When I say row table, he will add it to the center. So now all the game in the center of the screen. See? Now when I want to play, XO, 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 XO. Yes, here we done, and thank you for watching, and see you next